So the art house theater in my city was playing Hong Kong cinema. They started with Hard Boiled, John Woo's action masterpiece that's loved by all. So this MovieFiendz favorite will be for Hard Boiled, the 1992 action thriller drama movie about Inspector Tequila. He is a hard-edged, hard-boiled cop who has to deal with rising crime, rising weapons, dealing with vicious arms dealers that have better firepower than the police. So at the beginning of this film, he is tasked with trying to shut down an exchange of guns. However, it turns into a bloody shootout in a tea house where his partner ends up dead, and he gets chided by his boss and told to step off. And he doesn't know, but one of the people involved in the whole gun dealing thing is Johnny Wong. He's like a vicious international arms dealer, but he has someone he wants to work with, Long, who's actually an undercover detective. So the two of them cross paths. However, after a factory shootout, Long doesn't finish off Tequila, and Tequila gets wind and finds out his boss is hiding people, and people start stepping on each other's toes. People could end up dead. It's a very major theme of this film about what undercover cops have to do to save themselves, put themselves in a high pressure situation. A little bit unrealistic because, like, Long is a mafia hitman and he kills so many people in this movie. They wouldn't let him get away with that, even when they do take down the big bad. So I don't know if a part of him knows that, but obviously people are here not for the story, they're here for the blistering action sequences. And I gotta say, this movie does actually have some really amazing, memorable action. There's 4 major action sequences, which is weird because usually an American action film will have 5 set pieces, and this movie only has 4. There's the tea house, there's the factory shootout, there's the assault on the boat, and then the finale in the hospital. So the finale in the hospital is almost like 2 parts though, because it's really long. So it can, the climax is almost like 2 action sequences in itself. But overall, the action does really stand up to the test of time. I mean, it's a lot of squibs, a lot of shooting. It's a balletic sort of mess of stuff. There's always... It's not just people being shot in squibs though, there's always something exploding in the background with a shotgun, or papers and debris flying in the air. If you've seen The Killer, there's a lot of doves in that movie. Hard Boiled is a perfect example of just no frills action galore. And there's also a lot of other stuff going on. There's like a romance between this female and Tequila, and there's also a lot of headbutting between Tequila and Long as they decide to team up to take down the baddies. And of course, humanity's on display as they have to try to evacuate a whole hospital full of hostages and some babies in there too. And the villain's like, "I'll blow up everyone, I'm so evil," and Anthony Wong's chewing scenery and stuff. And the action obviously is done by Philip Kwok, who also plays Mad Dog. He's like the coolest villain ever. And #1 man of Johnny. His opening scene is basically lighting a cigarette in a fire with his whole face. And there's just so much awesome style on screen. There's like this scene where motorcycles and cars are pulling up to the musical score to flex on the people that they're going to go kill. And there's a lot of just action and shooting, of course. And there's also the oneer. There's a oneer sequence in the hospital where they clear out some terrorists, and it's all done in one take. It's pretty awesome. The movie is not too long. It's maybe almost 2 hours, and there's some tense moments, but overall it's definitely one of the quintessential action films of the 90s. Some references to Terminator 2 as well, like the gun in the box, and Philip Kwok just being so awesome as Mad Dog. And it's great to see a villain who's like physical, kind of like the guy from John Wick 1, where it's just like, everyone else gets shot, but he's like just really good and can take down and fight and the good guys and give them a little bit of grief, which is always good. So that's why Hard Boiled is a MovieFiendz favorite.